Hi, I'm Saman and I have a 3-year-old daughter and I do a full-time job along with a project of my own.
Hi, I'm Fiza. I teach part-time at the university level and I also have a freelance gig on the side and I have a very high energy toddler.
Hello, I'm Anam. I have a daughter and I'm an interior designer by profession.
My name is Seda. I'm an architect and I'm also a mother of 2 girls.
So going back to work after having the baby was surprisingly a very smooth experience for me, and there are a couple of reasons for that. There are I think two types of moms. The ones who are very hands-on moms who wouldn't let the maid touch the baby and they are very into the baby and all. And then there's the second category of moms like me who are very relaxed and easygoing and all. So being the latter, it helped me going back to work because my husband and we mutually decided that I would in any way not change the diapers or do anything of that sort. And plus I was very career oriented, I still am, and I was working till my 8th month. So we thought that it's very important for me to go ahead with my career and achieve my goals. And another reason which was very important also was this, that I had this rough patch of postpartum depression. And my doctor very clearly provoked me, instructed me that I need to get back to work.
I went back to work as soon as I was done with my maternity leave. I was working at a publishing company for years, and then I went back to it 4 months after I had a baby. I actually left my child here with my parents and I returned to another city to resume my career. However, I quickly realized that I can't be distant from him for too long, and it wasn't good for me, it wasn't good for him. So I rejoined him when he was 6 months old, and I took a little bit of a career break then. Then about the time he was a year and a half old, I started teaching part-time, which actually came as a huge relief because I was so used to working, and I felt that by staying at home I'm perhaps modeling an incorrect woman figure for my son. I felt it was essential for him to grow in an environment where he sees women being empowered and women working, and more than anything else it was for my own growth as a person and my career growth and my career growth.
So the reason I went back to work after having my daughter was because I always felt like there was a part of me which really missed my professional life. And even though I love spending time with my daughter, but I really want to show her that I have a life other than her too. I work and I'm committed to that. So that's an example I really wanted to set for her too.
I went back to work because I wanted to feel more competent, more useful, and I love my work, so I wanted to go back to work as soon as I could.
Okay, I think the key is compartmentalization. I remember right after having a baby, I read this book, I got this tip, which was really good, which is still working for me, and it worked for me at that point of time also, which is कि आपको एक timetable बना लेना चाहिए, timetable कह लो, schedule कह लो, in your mind, in your laptop or in your mobile, कि how your next 7 coming days are going to be. For example, in my case, I make a timetable that okay, if my daughter's vaccination is due, then I have to take her to the doctor on Monday. Tuesday, I'll probably go out with my friends. Wednesday, I'll vegetate with my husband and daughter and do nothing basically. And Friday, being with my in-laws, etc. So everything is pre-planned, and that really helps when you are a working mom. Because if you are not doing that, then you will completely lose track of things and go haywire. You'll come back from work, your friends will message, let's go out, and then your husband will say, oh no, we have to go for the vaccination. So yeah, the key is to organize things and schedule things in advance.
So finding work-life balance is definitely tricky when you're working and you have a high energy child, or all children are demanding and you want to fulfill all the demands, and you also want to fulfill the demands of your work, so there's a lot on your plate. Normally I define my day in a way where at the time that my child is home and he has 3 hours I'm spending with him, And at the time that he's away, either to school or either at a play date or he's gone to sleep, is the time that I use to do my other things.
I'm really fortunate to have my own business, so as it's always project based, I normally just look for flexibility. So for me, the most important thing is to take out time for my daughter. So normally I work around her schedule. If she's at school, I try my best to finish all my work before she's back. If there's anything left, I normally try to schedule that for later when she's asleep. So my schedule does typically revolve around her, and I do try to prioritize her end of the day.
Finding work-life balance hasn't been tough for me. I've been able to find the balance by prioritizing. I think I've been managing it quite well since the past 4 years.
I don't really think so. I've heard that the MNC, there are few MNCs that are really good with working moms, and they're very flexible with rules. They even have daycare centers and all of that. But barring few of those companies, most of the other ones, they are not very flexible, be it a big organization or a small organization. For example, I have this friend whose colleague was working in this very good advertising agency in Karachi, and she was doing really well for herself. The boss was really happy, but one fine day she had to tell her boss that give me some flexibility in terms of working hours. And that man came out with the very weird, or I would say insensitive answer. He had the audacity to say that, oh my God, you working moms always have problems, excuses, and why can't you just work properly, this and that. So I think that was very weird at his part, and I think that really happens in a lot of organizations. I mean, in her case, that job was the bread and butter for her. But for example, if it's me, in my case, I don't work for money. So if I had been at her place, I had the privilege of saying no. But it does not happen for every girl in Pakistan. And I think our HR rules and policies should be more flexible towards working moms, so that more and more women come out, and our society becomes more progressive.
I haven't worked in Pakistan for terribly long. I'm not sure I'm the right person to be able to answer that question. In my limited experience here, I think it's pretty all right. But again, I am not working full-time, so it's easier for me to get away with a lot of things that perhaps a lot of full-time working moms might not be able to pull off.
To be honest, I really feel like in the past few years, there's been a lot of improvement, and a lot of companies are coming up with the concept of having daycare for women with children. But I still feel like we're a long way from where we're supposed to be.
I think the working environment is slowly but surely getting there. It's getting better for the mothers. I do see many daycare centers being built by the government. I do think it's getting better.
Guilt pangs. Well, I think guilt pangs na ho to you are not a good mom. I don't know why I think like that, because you're always guilty. No matter how well you do, no matter how much time you give, you're always guilty because kuch na kuch ho jata hai. I mean, I'm not talking working mom ke perspective, but I even have friends who are not working. They are also guilty at times that, man, I'm all the time on my Instagram and a baby's all the time on iPad. So yeah, guilt pangs are always there. You just need to decide how much time, energy, love, whatever you can give to your baby, and stay firm to it. So मैंने अब डिसाइड कर ली कि मैं इतना अपने बेबी के लिए कर सकती हूँ, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकती, इससे ज़्यादा मेरा स्टेमिना नहीं, ज़्यादा मेरा पेशेंस लेवल ही नहीं है. So I don't feel guilty.
Oh my, there are so many guilt pangs all the time. It's not even about only working, it's even when you just away from your child, even for your own sanity, and it's just your love for your child is so immense, and you just feel that the whole world will collapse if you're not there for him or her when he needs you. If there's an accident happens when you're not there, if he needs something that only you know. And as a mother, I feel you just know everything about your child. And even when I'm away, I have 20 different things that I need to check mark in my mind. Have I done this? Have I put this at XYZ place so whoever needs it can access it and give it to my child? So it's there are guilt on many levels. It's like peeling an onion, but it's a part and parcel of being a mother.
I think that's a part of being a mother. I do feel very guilty at times leaving my daughter, especially if she's having one of those days when she doesn't want to stay at home or she wants to come with me. And now that she's 4 years old, so she's very inquisitive. She always wants to find out what I'm doing. So at times it does get difficult and you do feel anxious. The first time I remember when I left her and went, I felt really anxious, and I felt more of that separation anxiety than even her. So it is difficult, but you eventually get used to it.
I mean, I sometimes do have guilt pangs, but not as many as some working mothers do, because I think I'm doing well as a mother and I'm doing well as an architect too. I love my work as much as I love my child taking her first steps.
Importance of good support system is one thing that cannot be denied in our society because of various reasons. For starters, our support system हमारा है ही बहुत बड़ा. We have in-laws. If you have good in-laws, if your parents are in the city, if your husband is supportive of you, if you have good help at home, be it Sri Lankan, Filipino, whatever. So I think it's very important to have a good support system, and if you do not have a good support system, I don't think you can do well at work. I mean, आप 1 महीना job करोगे, 2 महीना करोगे to follow your passion, but after a certain time you'll be like your personal life is getting compromised. Your husband is not happy with you working and all. So good support system is very important. Yeah.
I cannot emphasize enough on the importance of a good support system because I rely on it heavily. If it weren't for my parents helping me out with bringing up my child, I think I'd be completely lost. It's the peace of mind that you have that somebody you trust is with your child is the only way you can be away from him or her.
Support system is definitely the most important thing. For me especially, if I have to go somewhere or I have a work commitment, if my family is not on board, it is impossible for me to commit to anything. As for me, the most important thing is to leave my daughter behind with someone I trust, like my parents or my husband or my sisters.
Support system is essential for a working woman because you can't work without having someone to look after your children, someone who you trust. For me, I have excellent hired help. I have family to lean on. I have friends to lean on. Without that, it would have not been possible.
I think me time is the most important thing for a working mom, because I think a happy you is equal to a happy mom, and that's equal to a happy child. So me time obviously varies from, the definition of me time varies from person to person. For example, for me, if me time is going out with friends, watching some TV show, then for another person it could be, reading a book or whatever. So me time is very important. I think every working mother should go for a me time, because you're not a machine, that you work 8 hours a day, come back home, you're exhausted as hell, but you still have to play with babies and make those funny faces and everything. So I think don't be what you are not. You're not a robot, you're not a machine. Be a human being, go for me time so that you are happy and you spread happiness basically.
Me time is very important for me because that's when I unwind. I absorb a lot of craziness throughout the day, so I really need to unwind and let all of that go for a good night's sleep. I always kind of do something non-child related before, at least an hour or two before I hit the sack. So I'd either read a book or I'm on my little phone watching something that I like to watch, which are not cartoons or Peppa Pig or Ben and Holly or something. So, I kind of drain my mind of all the cartoon characters and all diapers and school-related things, and it really helps me be a better mom the next morning.
Me time, for me, to be honest, I'm a really family-oriented person. So for me, me time is spending time with my family. But normally when my daughter is asleep, if I don't have work, so I just watch a good TV show or a movie and just sleep. So that's me time for me.
Me time, I just want to have a good sleep on the weekend. That's my me time.
Advice to working women, well, if you're really very aggressively career oriented, then I would say that you should plan your family. If you want to extend your family, then plan it according to your career goals. For example, if you're a banker and you see yourself becoming a VP in next 2 years, then plan the family accordingly. Become the VP, job mein thoda, job ko thoda stabilize kar lo, and then have the baby. And the second advice would be, it's very simple, that just the way money cannot buy happiness, in the same way toys cannot buy your child's love. So in my case, I used to pamper my child a lot with toys and all those material things, but that really did not work. I could feel a disconnect between my child and myself. So after that, I started giving her more time, engaging with her, interacting with her, having those eye-to-eye contact conversations with her. And then I started realizing that our emotional bond got really strong. So yeah, those are the two keys that I feel are very important for a working mom.
I don't feel I have a real advice as such, but really persevere. I feel it's so important for women to work and be those role models for our daughters and more so for our sons, so they know that women, if they want to work, they can work.
I don't think I'm an expert at giving advice to working mothers, because there's so many things I'm still working out myself. But one thing I would say is I really want mothers to set a good example for their children, especially for their daughters. Because in our society, men and women are always from childhood treated very differently. So I do feel like we should break that stigma, and our generation can do that because we are so aware about these things. We should show our sons and our daughters, especially our daughters, that it's their choice how their life goes. They don't have to get married and spend their life at home. They can do whatever they want.
Advice to working mothers is to challenge yourself, is to believe in yourself, because 2 incomes are always better than 1. You have to change the way this society works. You have to show your children that the mother goes to work as well as your father does. So I think it's our responsibility to change how this society thinks.